Landmark win for border security. The Supreme Court siding with President Trump, allowing new asylum rules to take effect.
The ruling enforces restrictions on asylum seekers trying to enter through the United States through a third country, such as Mexico, without seeking protection there. They got to ask Mexico as the last resort before they get here.
Here with more, Acting Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Mark Morgan. So, Mr. Morgan, we had this big ruling from the Supreme Court yesterday saying that the Trump administration can move forward with their new asylum policies. What does this mean for the work that you're doing?
So it's a big victory, but I think Judge Napolitano on earlier really summarized it well. The fight's not over, so we're still going through hearing this on the actually merits of this case right now. But right now, what that means, while that's going on, we can fully implement this rule along the entire southwest border to hit this crisis. And what this represents, and American people should understand this president and this administration is doing everything that they can, utilizing every tool in the toolbox within the current legal framework to stop this crisis, while Congress sits on their hands and fails to do what they know they need to do to end this crisis. That's what's significant.
Mark, so many critics of the administration have said, look, we've been doing it this way, where you show up from wherever and you ask for asylum. We've been doing this for decades. How did it start exactly? Was it just one of those things that somebody in the administration came up with as an idea back in the day, and it just over time became ingrained policy?
Look, I can't really talk about specifics of how we got here over time, especially with this specific rule. But what I can tell you is that the false narrative and rhetoric out there about this specific rule, what we should be wanting people to do is, if they have a valid claim, they should be seeking help and asylum from the first country they come in contact with. They shouldn't be paying the cartels thousands of dollars and risking their lives to take a 1,000-mile journey across several countries to get help. We want them to get help and seek asylum in the first country they get to.
All right, let's hope they do that. But most importantly, it'll send a message. This is not the time to risk your family, your life and limb, to go across 3 countries, to go to our border, which is already overwhelmed. That's just a fact. It's nothing against the Triangle Nations. So they're suddenly stepping up. The president yesterday also praised Mexico. What they're doing with their Marines at the southern border. But more importantly, they're holding the would-be asylum seekers in Mexico until they get a hearing date here. How does that play out?
Brian, you're spot on. That's important. They are 25,000 troops, unprecedented, stepping up and providing assistance with respect to this crisis. Mexico, they're being true partners right now. They're seeing this as a regional crisis. And what you talked about is the MPP, the Migrant Protection Protocol. Right now, we've put 45,000 individuals are waiting in Mexico. Mexico's being partners in this while they go through asylum in the United States. That prevents us from having overcrowded in our facilities, and it's quicker. When we have a detained document like this, it is so much quicker. We're hoping to get through this within 40 to 60 days instead of.
So you're going to get through the 45,000, Mark? You're going to get through the 45,000 in Mexico in 40 to 60 days? Is that what you're saying?
No, individually. Once they start the process, when we have a detained docket like this, it's exponentially quicker. Instead of what we have been doing, which is releasing them into the interior United States, and it takes years to go through the immigration proceedings.
So, Mr. Morgan, the Trump administration has been working with Mexico, but they've also talked about working with the Northern Triangle countries. El Salvador is now putting 800 police on its borders with Honduras and Guatemala. Is that partnership going well in terms of stopping it where it starts?
Katie, you bring up another great point, and this is one of the several game changers going on right now. It's not only the government of Mexico has stepped up as true partners, but it's also the Northern Triangle countries, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras. They are stepping up as well and being true partners, and really all 4 of these countries are seeing this for the first time as a regional crisis, not just a crisis for the United States. It is making a difference. In the last 90 days, we have seen a reduction in apprehension along our border by 57%. It's happening, and it's happening because of this president and this administration.
That's great. Mark, if you saw Judge Napolitano earlier, did you see the soundbite we played of Tom Homan appearing before the Oversight Committee yesterday?
I sure did.
What'd you think?
I think Tom Homan is an incredible leader. He's an incredible patriot. And the American people need to understand everything that Tom Homan said, he is correct. That man, I know that man. And like I said, he's a patriot, and he's done this job. He has served this country for 3 decades, and he knows what he's talking about. The American people need to listen to him, not politicians who have no idea what they're talking about.
And Mark, do you know how much new wall has been built?
65 miles, and that's a lot of new miles of wall, Brian. And we hope by the end of 2020 to have almost a 450 miles of new wall being built, and that's going to be incredible. That's going to give the men and women of the CBP a fighting chance.
Mark Morgan, thank you
so much.